Hi, and welcome to Not Just Surviving, How to Thrive When You Feel Like You Are Drowning. This is for you if thinking about all you have to do makes you feel tired before you even got started, if you know you need help but you're not even sure what you need help with, if you feel alone, isolated, and like everyone else gets it, but somehow you've missed that class. That's where I was. My name is Sarah Wall, and I am a single mom of 6 girls here in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. I'm divorced and I'm a survivor of domestic abuse. When I got started with all of this, I had 4 children under the age of 5 children under the age of 10, and I was a homeschooling mom, and I knew I needed to do something just to make life better. I'm still a homeschooling mom, and now I work from home as a blogger, a virtual assistant, and an entrepreneur. And I love it. We are definitely doing more than just surviving, we're thriving. And here's how I did it. Here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to find support. You can't survive, you can't do more than just survive this life if you don't have the right support. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to set boundaries. These are so key to being able to do more than just survive. We're going to talk about how to achieve your goals, because you know you have them, and sometimes it's just frustrating when you know you want to do some things and you can't figure out how to get that done. And we're going to talk about how to take care of yourself in the middle of all of the other things that you have to do. So let's get started. Why does this even matter? Well, it matters because you matter. You are important. There's always a way. You just need the right support. And I hope that this presentation will give you an idea of what kind of support you can have. You have a story. It needs to be shared. Someone needs to hear it. They're going to be impacted and inspired by your story. So why should you struggle when there's a shortcut? Let me show you how. So first, how do you find support? Well, first, identify what kind of support you actually need. What are the specific problems you need help with? It's easier to ask for help with just one small thing, and it's a whole lot easier to get help with just one small thing. So think, if you could wave a magic wand and make one small detail go away right now, what would it be? Ask for that. For me, this took the form of asking for simple house cleaning help when my children were little. And it turned out that it was a heck of a whole lot more affordable to ask for specific tasks to be done than to ask for a certain amount of hours. You'd be amazed. What you just ask for what you need, and chances are it's going to be a whole lot easier to find it than you think. If you can't find or you don't have the support that you need around you, it's time to actually get creative and start creating your own support. And my motto is, if you can't find it, make it. So here's how it looks. My children were getting older and I wanted to take my kids on more field trips. It just wasn't offered in my area. So I started a club. And now we have 1,400 member families and we're growing every day. It's fantastic. Second, how do you set boundaries? Well, first of all, what is a boundary? A boundary is your deal breaker. What's going to make it impossible for you to keep going with this? Well, there are 2 kinds of boundary breakers. There are emotional boundary breakers and there are time boundary breakers. Let's talk about the emotional ones because this is what's going to affect your well-being the most. Here's what breaks those boundaries. When you compare your real life to that social media highlight reel you see on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. When you start thinking that everybody else has it or gets it or does it better than you, it's because you are seeing what the snippets of their life that they're choosing to photograph or video, and you're not seeing the real life behind that. If those cameras were to move over just a few feet, I bet you'd see the mess behind the picture perfect kitchen or living room. It's just not real life. When we can stop comparing our social media or our real life to that social media highlight reel, not only are we more emotionally healthy, but we actually feel better. When we can put people in the proper position and not put them up on a pedestal, life gets easier because you're not trying to make your life into the picture perfect Instagram. Second emotional boundary breaker is to make decisions based on what people will think. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't make decisions based on how it's going to affect people, because our choices affect other people all the time. But when you make decisions based on your assumption of how they're going to judge you, it's negatively affecting how you make your own choices. The truth is you need to recognize that you have choices and you need to own those choices. So if you're tired of feeling like you can't get anywhere with your business or with your hobby, but you're choosing to spend hours scrolling through Instagram feeds and TikTok videos, maybe to recognize that you're making a choice and you need to own that choice. There's nothing wrong with scrolling and watching Instagram reels and TikTok videos. It's fun. I get sucked into it myself, but I own the fact that I'm making that choice. And I know that I can make a different choice. And sometimes I need to make a different choice. The last thing that you don't want to do is let someone else push your buttons. We all have toxic relationships. It's time to gray rock those. Gray rock simply means to not give the satisfaction of a reaction to the toxic relationships in your life. To learn more about that, just simply Google gray rock. There's tons of advice out there for that. The other kind of boundary breaker here that we need to really pay attention to is time. If you're trying to prioritize everything, say everything needs to be done, everything's important, you're not managing your time properly. You have to rank your jobs, you have to rank your activities and choose what you can do and what's less important to do. And when you prioritize, it will help with this feeling of feeling guilty every time you say no. Because when you prioritize and when you recognize your priorities, you can be choosy about what you say yes to. And you have to know the difference between time management and task management. And here's what that difference is. Think about this. What are the top 3 things you need to do right now, today, in order to feel like when you fall into bed tonight, you actually got something done? Well, and then what are the tasks that have to happen every day for your life to just function properly? And then what do you need to say no to so you can say yes to what really matters? When you can answer those questions, you're managing your tasks and not just your time. And when you can manage your tasks in the right order, in the right priority, life gets a whole lot easier and you start to thrive and do more than just survive. So coming from managing your tasks and not your time, that's kind of how we achieve our goals. So we juggle a lot of things. Here's how you juggle like a work-at-home mom. We juggle a lot of things. Kids, clients, chores, meals, bosses, health, friends, tons of stuff that we got going on. Some of those things are breakable. If you drop them, someone's going to get hurt. But some of those things bounce. If you drop them, you can just pick them up later. Minimal, no damage. The key here is to know which is which. If you want to achieve your goals, first you have to manage your tasks and you have to manage your time. So here are some tools that you can use to really help make sure that your goals become part of your priority. One of my favorite tools are brain dumps and someday lists. So all of those, someday I'm going to, what if we could, I wish we could, we should, all of those someday I'm going to things. Put those on a priority list. The second tool here is to build routines that are going to make your life on autopilot. And how you build routines is with good habits, and habits are made from good choices repeated over and over again. The last tool that you want to use is you want to write it down. I don't care how good your memory is, writing it down, physically handwriting something down, puts it into your muscle memory, puts it into your brain differently than just simply thinking it or saying it. Write it down. If you want more tips on the tools that I use to achieve my goals, check out my Plan Your Day in 2 Minutes or Less webinar for more tips on that. The last thing we're going to talk about here real quick is how do you take care of yourself in the middle of all of this? Well, let's start with the basics. When did you last drink water? Eat more than just junk food? Sleep more than 5 hours in a row? Shower for more than just 5 minutes? Talk to someone other than your kids or your partner. And when, this is kind of important, when did you talk to in person, face to face, your best friend, your sister, your mom, your best friend from high school, and not just on text message or Facebook Messenger? You need to talk to someone in person. You need to spend that time together. Second thing to think about when you want to take care of yourself, when you want to manage your tasks properly, when you want to achieve your goals, is to think about the margins of your day. Taking care of yourself means that you need to leave room in your day for real life to happen. Remember, we talked about not comparing our real life to the social media highlight reels. You need to leave room for real life to happen. When you look at a book, books have margins around, they have white space around the words, because words going from edge to edge on a page can't be printed and they can't be read. Your calendar needs to have the same kind of margin. You need to leave room for stuff to happen, for interruptions, for life to happen, so you don't feel rushed. If you want to do more than just survive, make sure you're putting margin in your day. So, what refreshes your soul? This is the last piece about taking care of yourself. What is going to refresh your soul? The self-care experts and gurus are going to tell you that, bubble baths and manicures and going on vacation are self-care. And well, that's all well and good. And if that is self-care for you, more power to you. But truly, what refreshes your soul? Maybe it's something as simple as music. So pause right now, take 5 minutes, go redo your playlist on Spotify or iTunes. What if it's your favorite show? What if instead of feeling guilty about watching your favorite show, it's self-care and you book that time in your schedule as a do not disturb? What if you take all of those guilty pleasures, cheap chocolate, fuzzy socks, Tumblr threads, whatever it is that works for you, those TikTok videos, maybe instead of feeling guilty about it, we actually revel in it because it makes us feel good. It refreshes in a way that lots of other things just don't. So, to sum up, how do you thrive when you feel like you're drowning? Well, start by finding or making your own supports. Start by managing your tasks, not just managing your time. Start by dropping the balls that bounce and holding on to the ones that are going to break. When you want to thrive, it's time to start setting boundaries. It's time to start owning the choices that you're making. It's time to take care of the basics. Make sure you've got water, food, hygiene, health. It's time to go out there and make a new connection. It's time to create margins in your day. Leave room for life to actually happen. And then indulge in what really makes you feel better. And then finally, call a friend. Make those connections. Make sure you're staying plugged in and connected. If this seems a little bit overwhelming when you're already feeling like you're drowning, remember, small changes add up. It takes time. Change is a process. You don't just break bad habits. You have to replace them with good ones. So pick one thing that you can do today. Maybe it's saying no to something so that you can say yes to something else, something better. Maybe it's just indulging, taking a moment to indulge in something that's really refreshing. And maybe it's, you're actually going to take care of yourself for once. You're going to drink some water, take your vitamins right now. Those small changes will add up when you do them consistently. So you want to find out more, so you can go to raisingroyalty.ca for more about me. You can find me on Facebook at Zara Support or Raising Royals. I'm happy to connect, and that goes on to your list of things you can do when you want to thrive, when you feel like you're drowning. Make a new connection. Come connect with me. You can get more work at home mom tips at zarasupport.com/blog, or you can sign up for my webinar, Planning Your Day in 2 Minutes or Less, at planyourdayfast.com. Thanks for watching.